Alright. We could create some duchies. I don't really care to do that at the moment, though. So let's plan our next war. Our vassal's taking care of Nordland. Let's see if we can subjugate Sudreyar. Unless they want... Can we offer them vassalization? He must be at peace. Who is he currently at war with? He's attacking Strathclyde, which is the Cumbrian kingdom over here. We'll see how that goes. Because if he conquers Strathclyde, then we can probably just take it ourselves. So yeah, 750 prestige to prepare an invasion there. I don't really want to use up our event troops yet. So let's see if we can get together enough levies to go do some raiding. Get some money, get some prestige going. Accept swear fealty and serve as your vassal. Okay, so Hrafen of Harjadal has... I'm using like a weird combination of Old Norse and Norwegian pronunciation here. Gudroder of Vestfold is now our heir. Let's see. It's all Inglings, so I'm not super worried. We are going to have some Gavelkind split that's going to happen for sure. 29 years old. His diplomacy's not great, but neither is mine, to be honest. It's my nephew. He would also bring Vestfold, Thelemark, Ogdir, all these places back into the Crown lands, so that's probably a good play. The period of festivities is about to start. All sorts of peddlers, bards, and fortune tellers are gathering in Hordaland, bringing their tales and offerings. I should make sure to prepare myself before traveling to meet my tribesmen. Let's see, I can go hunting. I can study our old legends. 20% chance of stressed. Don't really want to do that. Look out for our best craftsmen. Give us monthly prestige. I like that. Yeah, so let's spend time searching for the most experienced craftsmen available in our tribe to prepare our offering to the ancestors. Mecha Reaper, thank you for the subscription, by the way. I think you're our second 2-month subscriber? First or second person to subscribe for 2 consecutive months. He says the Pope is asleep, let's go raid the Vatican. The only problem with that right now is I think they're... Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're under the Kingdom... Oh, no, they're not under the Kingdom of Italy in this start date. We got the Apostolic Palace. Which is built in 505, so I haven't played with any of this wonder stuff at all yet, actually. They have a garrison of 812 and a potential levy of about 1,200, so if we took our event troops, we probably would have enough to siege it. The celebrations have finally begun. Hordaland is bustling with activity. People from every corner of Noreyr have traveled here to pay their respects to me and my ancestors, exchange tales and goods, and have a good time. Fantastic. Alright, get on the boats. And go choose a juicy raid target. An old woman suddenly jumps at my line of sight, giving me a toothless smile and shaking a cup filled with dice. She claims that she can determine what the stars have in store for me for the right price. Sure, why not? Fortune teller assures me that a period of good luck is just around the corner, and that I need only look for the right opportunities in order to change my life for the better. Well, thank you. My marshal, Thorir Trunde, has told me about a remarkable weaponsmith residing in Sudreyar. He suggests that if I invite the man to my court to see his work for myself, he manages to impress me, I could order my own custom-made item. Fantastic. Lambert agrees that the Vatican vaults sound like a good opportunity. Maybe we'll go raid Rome. Maybe we'll just be like, hey, what up? Once the weaponsmith's craftsmanship had been checked by my most knowledgeable attendants to ensure the quality was sufficient, I received him in the throne room. He introduced himself as Master Fairhair, which, by the way, the Yngling dynasty, at least legendarily, Yng is another name for Freyr, who is the male fertility god, along with his sister Freya. So they are... this dynasty, which the royal house of Norway can actually still trace their lineage back to, is supposedly descended from Frey, who was also called Yng at certain times. So that's a good name. Gestured towards his numerous assistants who all carried examples of his work. This is why I should have done Viking shit a long time ago, because otherwise I'm like making shit up or I'm like looking shit up on Wikipedia. Like when I do medieval Norse playthroughs, it's like I've got this stuff off the top of my head. It's very, very much in my my element here. Lambert with the classic, your god was nailed to a cross, my god wields a hammer. Any questions? That is definitely something I saw a lot on pagan groups on Facebook in the early 2010s. It's a good point. I mean, you gotta admit. Let's see. We need a good sword. No, I mean, Erik Bloodaxe, we want an axe, right? Like, come on. Let's get real here. An axe, I see. An excellent choice, my king, says Master Freyr, and calls forward an assistant cradling several axes in his arms. Can I just have all of them? I have a couple examples here. One must determine what one needs and how much one is willing to pay, though they will all serve your highness well. Craft me the best axe you can. We're gonna go raid some shit, and I will pay you back later, my dude. Man of great talent, loyal servant, sounds good. Yeah, I just put a down payment on an axe that costs more than some areas of my entire kingdom. So let's go make sure that we make that money back. And it looks like the county of Weir in Wales will be a good place to start. During the afternoon, as I went to check in on the progress of Master Freyr, I walked in to see him getting my courtier Thora to help him with the forging process. Together they were lifting pieces of metal, and Freyr was showing Thora how to mold the materials into shape. Not exactly what I'm paying him for, but a form of service nonetheless. I'm glad he's helping her to be stronger. Let's see, my cousin died. Let's see. After a few unintended fights and several challenges thrown amongst guests, it's been decided that the best way to appease the crowd is to organize a tournament of our best warriors. Not only there are many in the tribe excited to test their mettle in a friendly competition, the shamans have also assured me that this will be a good way to obtain the favor of the Thunderer. Yeah, let's join the fighting ourselves. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is a disastrous Gavelkind split. Thank you for asking. Should totally name the axe the Bloodaxe. That's a fantastic idea, Duke of Bad Decisions. That is, you should be called the Duke of Good Decisions, because that's actually a very good decisions. Some kid I don't care about. Got a trait. The crowd quickly assembles in the town square as the first contenders find their place in the fighting ring. I am one of the first to be picked, and soon find myself in the thick of a brawl, dodging and striking against my first opponent while our tribesmen cheer around us. Let the best man win. I try my best, but after only a few encounters I'm forced to surrender and join the other less fortunate contenders waiting for the tournament to end. When the sun sets, only one man remains standing, Sørkver. The crowd acclaims him, and as the uncontested winner of the tournament, showering with cheers. He deserves a prize. Well, I mean, here's the thing. We've got payments to make on this axe, and you don't have any titles. So, you know, well done. You deserve it, but we're not going to pay you. With the period of festivities nearing its end, it's finally time to burn our offerings to the old gods and pray they will protect us in the years to come. A long moment of silence shrouds Hordaland as the smoke rises to the night sky. Then the shamans lead us in a somber hymn concluding the ceremony. Glory to Odin. +1 moral authority. Alright, so they are going to come and try to dislodge us. We're going to be ready with my very good friend Hrafen here, and Zerkver, who just won the tournament. We will repel them readily, I believe. The Royal Army of the Welsh, Kingdom of Dyfith, cannot take us on. Alright, so we finally got an axe. Sturdy box with contains the items. My hands are shaking slightly as I open the heavy lid. Let's see, we lost 203, they lost 302. Those are actually kind of realistic medieval casualty numbers. So yeah, we're going to go into our treasury. And we are going to rename this the Bloodaxe, which shall be passed down for generations. Prestige, martial, personal combat ability, nice. Fantastic. Mecha Reaper says, I'm trying to remember what the last expansion I really played for this was. I think Way of Life. That was a while ago. Lambert says he's the Duke of bad decisions, but the Jarl of good decisions. Yeah, I guess it depends on your perspective. Yeah. Okay. And yes, there were a lot of medieval realms that used lion heraldry, despite the fact that there were not any lions in Europe. I mean, I think you have to go back to the Bronze Age or something. Let's see. How much gold can we hold on our boats? And is it worth it to continue the sieges, or should we just move around? Yeah, it's worth it to continue the siege. Feast has prepared a magnificent meal. I think it makes sense that Erik Bloodaxe would be a glutton. I think he'd be getting ready for big boy season. If I'm being honest. Nothing better than just eating and drinking. Alright. Are they really going to come at us again? Are you going to come at us again, bro? Is that even a river crossing? Okay, there's no river crossing, but still. We kicked your ass last time. It's not going to be any different this time. The Battle of Gwir. We are and I'm terrible at Welsh. If you guys watched Return of Arthur, you probably already know that. We're marching over the hills when one of my officers mutters, "Once I'm back in Hordaland, I'm giving up this soldiering life, and maybe I will be a baker." I chuckle, considering my own more strategic aspirations. What about you, my Jarl King? What will you focus on in the future? We want to be a direct leader. We want to. Well, Organizer's pretty good for raiding, actually, because movement, speed, and retreat can be useful. But I want to be more direct. That seems like the Erik Bloodaxe way of doing things. Although, that was not how we won our duel against our brother at all. Yeah, alright. So the, oh yeah! New land has been sighted across the sea to the west of Iceland while sailing to Reykjavik from Norway. Gunnbjörn Ulfsson and his crew were blown off course and came upon several skerries lying off the coast of a much larger island, possibly a new continent. While Gunnbjörn did not go ashore, the land seems to be unclaimed and unsettled. Sailors in Iceland have vowed to investigate the discovery further. So that would be the discovery of Greenland, which happened right around this time. Iceland had actually not been settled for very long at all by this start date. Let's see. Mecha Reaper says lions. I always thought those were blonde bears. I mean, what is a lion but a blonde bear? Lambert would be terribly impressed if I was good at Welsh. I appreciate the thought, because it is a difficult language. I do have some Welsh ancestry, actually. I believe, I don't know if this even exists yet, but they're from Glamorgan, which is around this area right here. There's a big manor called Tredegar House in Glamorgan, Wales, where some of my ancestors lived. It's built much later than this, but it's a cool looking place. Wife is pregnant. By the way, I forgot to check and see if this is historical, but they actually start out with me married to the daughter of Gorm the Old, who is the sister of Harald Bluetooth. So it's possible that our children could inherit Denmark eventually, or press a claim on Denmark. Does our son have? No, he doesn't have a claim on Denmark. I guess he can't inherit through his mother, but she's the same dynasty. So that's kind of an interesting little wrinkle there. When can we expect the Aztecs to arrive, says Lagavulin? I usually play with Sunset Invasion turned off. So, probably never. Things quickly get out of control as my soldiers storm the gates of Dinifer, killing indiscriminately and sacking every building they come across. They seem to have lost all sense of discipline. Let's see. So we can let them have their way. We can join in the looting. Plundering leader, that gives us minus prestige, though. We lose prestige either way. This would just give us a 50% chance of Wroth or Cruel. Yeah, let's... You know what? Let's join in the looting. Gain the Cruel trait. I'm playing him accurate to how the sagas depict him, which is as kind of a tyrannical bastard. With my wife Gunhildr pregnant, I'm starting to worry if I shouldn't organize something special. Sure, why not? It's not like we have an expensive axe to pay off or anything. My wife could not have been more appropriate choice for this year's festival. She's a model of modesty and pious conduct. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate to the Germanic religion. Hopefully her actions will both help her deliver a strong child as well as spread the goddess's blessing around my lands. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure modesty would be something we'd be overly concerned with. Lambert says, I have family in Haverfordwest in the southern tip of Wales. Though they're from Northumbria, they moved there for the country life. Northumbria/Yorkshire border. Defenders are launching attacks against us. There's a smuggler's ring in one of these counties. They've added a lot of new counties, actually, since the last time I played in Scandinavia. Sugnafuke. The Welshmen are trying to defend their lands again unsuccessfully. If you hear a loud slurping, that's Casey the Lore Dog, who always decides to loudly slurp her water when I'm recording a video. We'll fix the budget deficit, alright? Like, we've got this under control. Let's go ahead and go up to speed 4. It occurred to me that my wife is feeling somewhat gloomy as of late. The burden of her unborn child is surely causing some humoral unbalance. Yeah, we'll help her out. Can't afford to pay my magistrates. The presence in Firdafylki are now completely disregarding my divine right to rule. What a bunch of assholes. Descendant of Freyr. Okay, so the new chief of Sunmata also wants to be on the council. But I've got to give it to Hrafen. I mean, he's a 22 martial skill. That's beyond the point where I'm willing to just look the other way in terms of nobility over meritocracy. All right, we got a lot of room for treasure on these ships. On the subject of deficits, Lambert says, which game do you think does it the best, CK2, EU4, or Imperator Rome? Gameplay-wise, I kind of like the way that Imperator does it, because the events that pop up give you consequences, but they're geared at eventually getting you out of debt. Like, once enough of them fire, you will eventually be out of debt. I don't know, though. I think EU4 might be the most realistic. But again, that ties into like the fact that EU4 was kind of when banking started being a thing, so it makes sense for the time period. Anyway, Thorstein is our new son. All right, we're coming. We're bringing money. Just chill out. Commander, let's see. Yeah, this guy will do just fine. If they counterattack us again, we got to remember to replace our commanders. All right. There's still plenty of room on this boat. Let's see where else has some cash to spare around here. Now, Strathclyde has some money, and they're still in a war with Sudreyar, so that seems like a natural place to go next. And, oh, did our really good marshal die, and I just was too ADD to realize it? I don't know why I can't select him as a dude. So we're gonna go raid Cumberland. Lambert says, I think I'd agree with that on my assessment of the debt systems. I quite like the Imperator system. No more AI going into bankruptcy spirals. Yeah, that's honestly a pretty big deal. Because, I mean, let's face it, there are certain aspects of AI that Paradox has just never fully gotten a handle on. And I'm kind of okay with them. Alright. We don't want that, do we? They'll arrive 1 day early. Let's see, how big is this English army right here? That is a big English army. Let's try this. We'll ask for 10 gold. We're probably not going to get out of this without having to fight. Oh, Sigurd doesn't want to pay his bonus taxes that we just made off the top of our heads. Okay, we lost 270 men. Could be worse. We're going to retreat to Moray. We're going to have the ships pick us up there. Search for a smith. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at when we get our loot back to, oh, okay, never mind. He's going to our land up here. Okay, there we go. 168 gold. Influx of loot is gonna help out Hordaland. We're gonna stand these guys down. So we were waiting on see how the war with between Sudreyar and Strathclyde played out before we subjugate them. We still don't have enough prestige yet, I don't think, to do the prepared invasion of Scotland. This is when you regret not taking Organizer, says Lambert. Yep, I knew it would come back to bite me eventually. Let's go ahead and let's get ourselves a nice suit of armor. I don't really care about jewels. We pay the iron price up around here. So, I mean, we could start eating counties in Ireland if we really wanted to. That seems kind of boring, though. I mean, that's basically free real estate right now, which, not that that's a bad thing, but yeah, let's. I don't know, do we have a CB against Denmark? I feel like... Oh, we have a non-aggression pact because we're married to his daughter. That's what it is. Okay. Could we upgrade that to an alliance? He doesn't want an alliance because of political concerns. I would like to ally with the Danes, if I can't conquer the Danes, because I don't want the Germans getting any ideas to come up here and take our holy site. Mecha Reaper says that list of decisions is way longer than the last time I played CK2. Yeah, there's a lot. Actually, if we get the chance to compose a book, let's do that as well. Duke of Bad Decisions says we do not so. Indeed. Assassinate your wife and then conquer them. The problem is, I mean, she doesn't have amazing stats, but I don't know. She's also still Queen of the Harvest, so I feel like we should be nice to her. Well, we could conquer Finnmark. We could conquer the Sami. Maybe we should just start eating Ireland. Let's see. Does this guy want to be our vassal? He's at war. Who is he at war with? Defending against... Oh, Scotland is trying to conquer... the Isles, basically. Interesting. Okay. Let's continue raiding for now. Let's continue raiding until we can get that prepared invasion CB on Scotland. That's what I think is going to get us the best bang for our buck. Alright. Oh yeah, these are actually Gaelic troops, so they're using the Scottish unit models since this area is still culturally Scottish. And then we have the Norse unit models from Katanis because that province is Norse culture. I love little stuff like that. I love the $200-something worth of DLC that I have installed. You can get a younger, more statly wife. That's true. That's always a possibility. Let's see. Hold a great bloat. Let's do it. 50 gold. We can afford it. Send out the summons. Some of our vassals might not come because some of our vassals really don't like us. The guests have arrived and the time has come for the bloat to begin. You gather outside the temple and start by offering animals as sacrifice to the gods while their meat is prepared for the feast that is to follow. The blood is sprinkled on statues of Odin, Thor, and Freyr and the other gods as well as on the worshippers themselves. So two things here. Two little interesting Viking history facts. One, I'm not sure how much during the 900s, but definitely during some of the earlier start dates, particularly like 867, 769, probably would not have been the same gods being worshipped in every part of Scandinavia. There were some common ones. Odin was fairly ubiquitous. Thor was fairly ubiquitous, but like Freyr would not necessarily have been worshipped in every part of Scandinavia. There would have been different local gods that were honored in different places and to different degrees, which is kind of similar to the Mediterranean world before Christianity, actually. There weren't really anything like gods of specific cities because there weren't a lot of, city-type political entities in Scandinavia at the time. I think Kaupang in Jutland was one of the bigger towns. It was a big market town. And Uppsala in Sweden, which was an important religious center. So the human sacrifice is a little different in the old Norse religion, I should say, to distinguish it from the modern revivals where we don't sacrifice humans to the gods anymore, at least in the circles that I run in. Basically, the idea with this is that you were sending somebody to the gods to sort of speak for your people. It was like, we're giving you a ticket to the afterlife because we need you to be our ambassador, basically. So it was, in a weird kind of fucked up way, it was sort of meant to be a little bit of an honor, but it wasn't like something... This is where you can kind of call them on their BS, because it's like, well, yeah, but you weren't ever having like chieftains or like chieftains' sons doing it. It was usually a thrall or a captive or something. So it's like, yeah, we want to send an ambassador to the gods, but not anyone we really care about. Let's get one of those English guys we captured maybe to do it. If you don't mind going and just, tell Odin we said hi when you get there. Ask him if maybe we could have some victory in battle or something like that. So So it was a little bit different from, like, you know, the Aztec religion, where it was like, okay, you know, we need to feed blood to the gods to hold up the sky. And actually, some pagan groups today have a version of this still. I've actually been to some ceremonies where they do a symbolic version of this practice, where you'll actually build a man out of straw. And like, everybody's kind of involved. They kind of pass them around. They even have the kids like put some straw into the man, and then the straw man is actually hanged and or burnt in sort of an homage to that ancient tradition. Because we do have pretty good records that this happened. So, you know, some groups choose to do that. It's not necessarily my thing. But it is interesting that they found a non-murderous way to kind of bring back a little bit of that tradition.